Hello, welcome back to the channel. So last week I talked about my 5 favorite features in the new iOS 15 beta. In this video, I'm going to go over my 5 favorite features in the iPadOS 15 beta. Now both of these share a lot of features with each other and even a lot with macOS Monterey. I think this is the first time that a lot of the features that have been rolled out from WWDC are kind of universal to the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac. And jumping right into it, I'm just going to start with some updates that were made to Swift Playgrounds. So up until now, it's pretty much just been a way to learn Swift and iOS development using fun games and exercises. Personally, I think this is one of the best ways to learn Swift because it's easy to understand. It kind of walks you through the beginnings if you don't know how to program already. But with iPadOS 15, Apple's actually adding the functionality to build apps within Swift Playgrounds on your iPad and submit them straight to the App Store from there. And to make this process a little bit easier, they've also added Swift UI to the iPad, and this lets you basically write the code for your app on one side of your screen and see a live preview of what you're gonna have on the other side of your screen, which just makes it so much better. You can see exactly what your code is doing. And to make writing the actual code even easier, they've added code completion, which is pretty much predictive text, but for programming. This just makes it that much easier for someone to come up with an idea for an app that they may want to make, and then use Swift Playgrounds as a resource to learn how to create an app while also building their app in that same program. So this just kind of becomes an all-in-one resource for someone when they want to get into iOS development. So up next, I have Universal Control, and this lets you drag your cursor right from your Mac to your iPad and control them both seamlessly using a single set of mouse and keyboard. So along with having seamless control of your various devices that you have, you'll also be able to drag and drop files in between all of them. So let's say you're working on your MacBook and you have your iPad next to you with some files on it that you drew in, let's say, Procreate. You'll be able to use Universal Control to drag your mouse over to the iPad, grab that file from Procreate, and drag it onto your Mac. And in the demo, it just looked like complete magic. I don't know what else to call it. It's just, you drag your cursor. So to keep you up with that productivity aspect of Universal Control, next up I have some improvements that were made to multitasking in iPadOS 15 that I think were very much needed. So now when you're using an app, you have this new menu at the top that is just 3 dots, and if you tap it, you'll be able to make your current app either full screen or enter split view. And when you enter split view, you're prompted to choose an app from the home screen that you want to add to the other side of your screen. And while you're in split view, you can swipe down from the top of an app to close it, and this will prompt you to choose a new one from the home screen to replace it in that split view. Alternatively, you can also use the app switcher to drag apps on top of each other, and this will create a split view right there rather than opening up each of the apps individually. Also, when you're in the app switcher, you can also see existing split views that you have open already. So you can switch between different, I like to call them workspaces, kind of like desktops in macOS. So you can have different apps open for different productivity needs that you may have. Also, you can have multiple instances of the same app. So let's say you have one note open with Safari, you can have another note open with your email. And kind of piggybacking off multitasking, up next I have keyboard shortcuts. So now when you have your iPad connected to a keyboard like the Smart Folio or the Magic Keyboard, you can press and hold the Command key, and that'll bring up this little overlay screen that shows all of the available keyboard shortcuts you have available to you either in that app or system-wide at the moment. I think this will be super helpful so you don't have to always reach back up to the screen to click certain options. You can use a reference list and then eventually memorize the keyboard shortcuts you may want to use. All right, so last up on my list of features is Quick Notes. Now, the Notes app itself in iPadOS 15 has the same features and updates that I mentioned in my previous video, but you also have this new feature of being able to create a note from pretty much anywhere. So in iPadOS 15, you now have the option to swipe up from the bottom right corner of the screen using either your finger or an Apple Pencil, and you'll be able to start a quick note from anywhere in the system. And these are pretty robust. You can do a lot more than just putting down a couple of words to reference later. You can use handwriting with an Apple Pencil, you can copy and paste Safari links, or you can highlight a certain part of a page in Safari and it should reference that so you have the note in context of what you were doing when you created it. Also, these quick notes will have access to all of the other new features and notes like tags and mentions that I've talked about previously. All right, so those are the 5 things I'm most excited about for the new iPadOS beta. Now I know some people are hoping for more pro features like Final Cut or Logic or something increased multitasking so you can drag the windows around or something like that. But it is important to remember that this is the operating system for all of the iPads from the Mini to the Pro. So I think it's a great update overall when you think about it on that spectrum. And I think the set of features in this update are kind of perfect for the entire lineup of iPad. Everyone will be able to benefit from all of these features. Overall, I'm really excited for the full version to come out in the next month or so, along with iOS 15 and macOS Monterey. All right, so that's all I have for you today. Be sure to hit that like button down below if you enjoyed this video. Also, while you're down there, go ahead and subscribe for more videos about tech, cameras, and making. Here's my video about iOS 15, and here's a video that YouTube thinks you're gonna like the best.